Pikachu is a real talkative Pokemon. If you see this Pikachu icon in the lower left corner of the screen, you can press right to chat with him. Sometimes Pikachu will try to get your attention. And the Pikachu icon will bounce if you know he wants to talk to you. If you see this icon bouncing, press the right button to hear what Pikachu has to say.
Tim.
I'll walk away. Hey, don't ignore me. I moved the analog stick. Okay, fine.
I know we need to hurry.
But coffee.
Would it really hurt if we relaxed a bit? For instance.
Coffee.
Here's a good idea.
We'll get some coffee.
Listen to some sage advice from a great detective like me.
I thought I was gonna go on about the coffee.
Okay.
But Holiday's waiting, we better go join him. I like how it...
Whoa.
As much as I hate to admit it, we don't have time to drink coffee right. It's a Hari and Didi! You are impossible to obtain. It's Hariyama and Poliwrath. A Poliwrath and Hariyama, they're squaring off. You could cut the tension with a knife. Looks like a fight could break out any second. We should probably avoid this alley so we don't accidentally set them off. Oh no, Hariyama's facing off against Poliwrath again. Why does he act out like this? He's usually so gentle. Is something wrong? My partner Hariyama loves showing off his strength, especially when he contested against someone else's. And since Poliwrath is also proud of its muscles, Hariyama considers it its rival. Ah, Goku and Vegeta. But who's Goku and who's Vegeta? Once they start going at it, it's hard to stop them. Yikes, guess we better avoid that alley for now. Didi really helps loosen up the knots in my shoulders. That's a sweet smell. That sweet smell is irresistible. Hey, must be using Combi's honey. Let's come back and try some after we're done. I know way too much about... Slowpoke uses a water gun. Something shining in the fountain. What could it be? Inkay! Little jump scarer. Whoa, I knew I saw something. It was a Pokemon. That's an Inkay, Tim. It lights up its spots to communicate with friends. Never figured it used those lights to lure someone in close enough for a prank. Little prankster. Yeah, it definitely surprised me. No, don't press that button again. Me? Hey, Inkay, maybe go easy on the jump scares, alright? Maractus! Great job, Maractus. Your dancing is so cute. From the top. 1, 2, 1, 2. Maraca. How about a little snack for you and your partner? Alright, we're here. I appreciate you coming on. What was that? I appreciate you coming on such short notice, Tim. This way, the crime took place at the Dennis residence up ahead. Oh my god, that's the wrong house. So it's basically like a side scroller. I really get tired when I'm reading, but yeah, Whimsicott is actually a prize. I thought it was its hidden ability.
You know the drill, Tim. Wash your hands and gargle when you get home.
What?
Don't forget.
What do you mean, gargle? Oh, Manectric, huge fan.
Well, if it isn't the great detectives.
You sound sarcastic as fuck, I don't like you. McMaster. Brat McMaster. Dedicated to law and order. Ah, very much a fan of the TV series Law and Order. Dedicated to following. It's been a while, Brat. I see you're on the case too, subtly enough. I suppose that means you are as well. You private detectives do love sticking your nose into every little thing. If Mr. Dennis hadn't requested you personally, I'd be asking you to leave right now. Yep, he's still a jerk. Think he's still holding a grudge for that time we showed him up? He says no funny business. Sheesh, no wonder you two are partners. You both got a stick up your ass. That's enough, Brad. We're going to be conducting this investigation together. This is the scene of the crime, right? Yep, this mansion belongs to Sanjeev Dennis, a jeweler. Dennis Residence Restaurant. What? Mr. Dennis is one of the wealthiest men in Rhyme City. Under normal circumstances, a civilian like yourself would never have the opportunity to meet him. Make sure you don't do anything to offend him. Oh, and don't get in the way of our investigation either. Your investigation, that... Yeah, you think you're being cute. He's just got to get a dig in somewhere, doesn't he? Okay, Tim, come inside. Oh, I will. Don't worry, let the professional handle this case. Instead of this washed up stick up his ass. The missing jewel. The case of the MJ. Because those letters were colored. Dennis Residence, first floor. Oh, here we go. Detective Prowers.
I see.
Alright, Tim. Mr. Dennis is waiting for you in the room to the right. Thanks, Inspector Holliday. Immediately investigate. It's so weird. Run on all fours, you idiot. Are you Mr. Dennis?
Oh, Tim, I've been waiting for you.
I was not expecting that voice. Oh, Tim. Sanjeev Dennis, jeweler. Top of the morning, Dennis. Growlith, guard at the Dennis residence. You are shit at your job. My name is Sanjeev Dennis. I'm a jeweler, and this is my partner, Growlith. Growl. I'm Detective Tim Gutman, and this is my partner, Pikachu. Sorry to jump right into it, but could you please tell us what you know about the incident? About the crime that took place.
Oh.
A precious jewel was stolen while it was out of the house. It's called the Aurora Drop, and it's a very rare jewel indeed. The Aurora Drop. What a mysterious name. Magical, even. The thief injured one of my staff members and made off with the jewel. Okay, so we have an injured staff member. Thankfully, my staff member's injuries were minor, and yet... Is something sticking out to you as odd? Well, the police are treating my trusted butler as the prime suspect. I would too, to be honest. They think the butler did it. Alfred, how could you? Could you tell me a bit more about the stolen jewel? It looks like this. Most gemstones must first be cut and polished into beautiful jewels. But the Aurora Drop is said to have naturally formed into its shape. The way it shines looks a bit like an aurora. Yes, it's precisely how it got its name. The Aurora Drop has been subject to has been the subject of many a tale, but it was thought to be nothing more than fiction, even among us jewelers. For the longest time, we called it the Jewel of Legend. Wow, he wasn't kidding when he called it precious. You guys, no surprise that someone wants to steal it. It definitely sounds valuable. Where were you displaying it? I kept it securely locked within a special reinforced case inside my jewel storage room. There are locks on both storage room door and the reinforcement case. And yet, despite all that security, it still got stolen. About that trusted butler of yours. You mentioned that the police already have a suspect. Yes, they believe that the thief is my own trusted butler, Barnes. Why did I think that? Because Barnes and I are the only people who can access the key to the storage room. What's keeping someone else from getting to it? The key is always kept around Growlith's neck. If anyone but Barnes or myself attempt to take it from her, Growlith would start barking. My Growlith is a very loyal Pokemon. She would never allow the key to be taken by a stranger. That explains why Growlith is so full of depression. I don't see a key around Growlith's neck right now. The police think Barnes took it. That would certainly make sense, assuming Barnes really is the culprit. Mr. Dennis, if possible, I'd like to talk with Barnes. He's currently being questioned by the police. But you don't believe Barnes is the thief, is that correct? I've known Barnes since we were young. He's worked in this home for years and has always served us well. I'm certain that he'd never steal from me. and I couldn't possibly imagine him hurting anyone. So you're saying Barnes didn't do it, and the real culprit is still at large? That's right, someone else must have stolen the jewel. Please help me prove Barnes is innocent. Ah, so that's why he called us here, to clear his butler's name. That explains it, because if the jewel was stolen, the thief could be in another city right now. We'll go talk to Barnes later. That's it. So finding the Aurora drop and clearing Barnes of suspicion, those are the two things you called us here to do? Could you please? You're the only ones who I can count on. Our job is to investigate the case and reveal the truth. We won't know if Barnes is truly innocent until we look into this more. Yes, the police must have some reason to suspect him. Look, we could just talk to Growlithe because he's the one who saw the person take the damn necklace. The key. But we'll do what we can. If that's acceptable to you, we'll take the case. That's more than acceptable. Thank you, Tim. Great, in that case, may I start investigating the scene of the crime? Of course, the jewel storage room is just upstairs. I know you won't let me down. Oh, I will not, sir. Wait a second, Tim. There's something I want to try. Starting with this case. Something you want to try? Yeah, a case notebook. The writers for detective journals swear by it. Detective Journal? That's the magazine you're always reading about. Yeah, that's the one. They researched the most efficient way for detectives to organize all their case notes. The solution they came up with was a case notebook. Sounds intriguing. How does it work? It's a notebook. I'm getting to that. First, open up your notebook. Investigate the scene of the crime on the second floor for clues. First, let's write in the notebook any burning questions that arise while we're investigating. We'll summarize the testimony and evidence that we've gathered during our investigation on the page below. After we've collected enough testimonies and evidence, we'll begin deducing option. The deducing will appear. When you select this, we can start deducing the answers to our questions. We don't have enough testimonies or evidence right now, but once we do, we'll be able to start deducing. I guess actually using a notebook is the best approach. So Tim, hey, Nato. So Tim, what do we have to do right now? We have to collect testimonies and evidence to figure out how the jewel was stolen. To do that, we first have to investigate the scene of the crime. That's right, let's go check out the jewel storage room. But we could also just talk to... We could talk to Growlithe. Come on, dude, this is not that difficult. Talk to Growlithe, let's see what it says. Where am I now? This room is currently being searched by the police. Not my issue. What was that? We may be investigating a crime, but we should still respect the residents' privacy. We shouldn't just go barging into rooms. We have nothing to do with the case. True, we need to focus on the jewel storage room. Ah! Found it. I had to wait for Pikachu. The jewel storage room has been left exactly as it was at the time of the incident. Inspector Holiday already filled me in. Please go right ahead. Thank you. Let's put on the detective hat. We must investigate. There's a lot of cotton in here. Whimsicott. Alright, doesn't really look like the lock's been tampered with. What is it, Pikachu? I checked out the door, but there was no signs of forced entry. Then we can be fairly certain that the thief used the key to get in. According to Dennis, this room's where the Aurora drop used to be. Let's take a closer look. Whimsicott's the suspect. What is this? Oh wait, we just have to be here. What's that blue thing popping out of the cotton? This area looks more disturbed than the rest. Let's start investigating. We might find a clue. Alright, don't let any details slip past you, Tim. I will not.
Let me see.
Where should we look first? I want to examine this. There's a blue feather. Do you think it's a... That could be a shiny Whimsicott. Do you think the Pokemon it belongs to was in this room? Maybe it's from a Pokemon that lives in the mansion. Let's look into that later. Alrighty then. There's some cotton on the ground. It looks really fluffy and stuffed. It's Whimsicott! The villain is Whimsicott! What's a bunch of cotton doing in here? The jewel case is still locked. Wait. Like Dennis said, the jewel in this case was stored on the lock and key, and the key was to the case is different. Is a different key than the one that's jewel storage room. I wonder who has the key then. This is the only case that's damaged. Must be where they kept the Aurora drop. The edges look like it was sliced clean with a blade. What kind of blade could slice this cleanly through and that could slice this cleanly through such a sturdy jewel case? Bishop. Cleavor. No. Basic case is firmly fixed to the floor. Yeah, moving the base doesn't even look possible. Some more cotton over there.
Hey, Tim. Check it out. Looks good, huh?
Hey, that's from the trailer.
Disguises are a key part of detective work, you know.
Yeah, whatever. Now quit goofing off and investigate.
He clearly doesn't appreciate my art. Perhaps I need to give him a little more training.
What a guy. Wait a minute, what was that? I saw something move. Looks like a part of the jewel case. Based on the shape, do you think that the top half of the case was cut off? It looks that way. It's a really clean cut. Sizing, it must have taken one seriously sharp blade. I doubt a human could ever pull that off. I don't see anything else worth investigating. Neither do I. So we have a cottony.
Start deducing. Okay.
You probably figured out how the culprit stole the jewel by now, eh? Right, let's begin deducing in your case notebook. Sure.
Okay.
We have a few plausible theories. Which do you think is right? The culprit stole the jewel. Maybe that.
Okay.
From what we've seen in the crime scene, we could tell that the jewel case was sliced open. After that, the Aurora drop was removed from the case and taken away. Right, and we saw that the jewel case is still locked, which supports that claim. We still need to investigate more to determine how the case was sliced open. But at least now we know how the thief got their hands on the Aurora drop. Yeah, we've made our first step forward. Perfect.
Okay.
You understand how to use Yes, I do. Once I got some evidence, I'll start deducing. Feel free to start deducing whenever you feel like it. Investigating the scene, we know how the crime was carried out. We can be certain that the culprit sliced open the case and took the jewel from inside. But there's just one thing that's strange. Oh yeah? Yeah. Think, Tim. What's strange about the way the crime was committed? The butler couldn't. The glass was cut, but the door wasn't.
Oh.
The door to the storage room was opened with a key, but the jewel case was still locked when it was sliced apart. That's right, so that means the thief only had one key, the one to the storage room. They didn't have the key to the jewel case. According to Mr. Dennis, only he and Barnes can access the jewel storage room. I understand why the police suspect Barnes, but I'm not so sure. Obviously, I'd be It'd be best if we talk to Barnes ourselves, but he's still being questioned.